Hey y'all, today I want to share with y'all something that is a little off topic from what's been on my channel recently, but I think that it's meant to be talked about, or at least for me, like I just feel like I'm supposed to talk about this. Um, and I also figured I'd share with y'all this beautiful day because I wanted to not be inside. But I wanted to talk about my blood clot story, because I feel like it's something that not a lot of people talk about, and it should be, because it was very alarming whenever it happened to me, and I didn't think that anything like that could ever happen to me. But it did, and I think more women should be aware of it, so that it might not be as bad for someone else as it was for me. Um, but I had a blood clot in my leg. It was a DVT, a deep vein thrombosis, which means it was in one of my big veins in my leg. It wasn't just a tiny vein, it was like the main vein in my leg. Um, so I had gotten on birth control after not being on it for a long time, because I'd had kind of a bad experience with birth control back whenever I was super young, whenever my husband and I first got married. But it just, I guess it just gave me bad hormonal issues, and I didn't like being on it. It made me feel like I was going crazy, kind of. So I got off of it, but I was having some kind of issues that I won't go into, but just some hormonal issues later on, because me and my husband have been married for 7 years now, but I just started having some issues. So that I went to the doctor, and they basically said that I needed to go on birth control to help those issues. Because and that in and of itself, I think, is bad about female health, is any kind of hormonal issues that females have, they just say, oh, let's put you on birth control. And I don't agree with that. You know, if I'm the kind of person, I'm more holistic with my health. Like, I like to find the root cause of why I'm having issues like I'm having, or how to fix those issues without some kind of pill that I have to take every day. Granted, in my experience, it was the patch, because I'm really bad at remembering to take pills. So, anyways, back to my story. I started the patch, and I was on it for honestly probably only like 3 or 4 months, and I started to have this really bad pain in my leg. Granted, at that time, I was working out really hard, doing like deadlifts and stuff, so I thought I had just pulled a muscle in my leg or something, because that's kind of what it felt like. Like, it felt like my muscle that was hurting, but it wouldn't get any better, and it kept getting worse and worse, and I had no clue that it could have been a blood clot. Like, I thought that was just, I don't know, stuff like that. I guess people think that, they just never think it could be that. And that's how I was. So I just kept putting it off, because I hate going to the doctor anyways. I'm one of those kind of people. But I just kept putting it off, but it got to the point that I couldn't walk, like, at all. I was using a walker from my grandmother-in-law, or however you want to say that, and I couldn't walk. Like, my leg was hurting so bad that I couldn't even put pressure on it. And it just took one morning that I woke up, and I'm like, there's something major wrong with me. I guess God finally, like, Leandra, like, get it together. But but I finally went to the ER, and ended up, it was a blood clot. And the doctors kind of wanted to, no, I'm not going to go into that. Anyways, so it ended up being a blood clot, and a really bad one. And if anybody's ever had that happen to them, it's a very scary situation. Because it can move before you get on any kind of medicine for it. It can move and kill you, basically. Since that we had traveled, they thought that maybe I had gotten a blood clot from traveling, because you can get a blood clot from being up in a plane. But since it had been like a month since we had traveled, it wouldn't have been that, because it didn't start till like a couple weeks after we had traveled. Because all that swelling and me not being able to walk on it happened fairly quickly. happened probably within a week. And so they kind of thought that it could have been all these different other things, but I'm like, I'm telling you, doctor, like, it's something bad. Like, if I'm at the doctor, like, I need something serious. So they told me different things that I could do. I could do like a blood test or something to kind of check if there was a blood clot that way, but it would take longer. But then they also said that they could do an ultrasound, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure it's something bad. Like, I feel like, honestly, I think it's great for people to kind of not tell their doctors what to do, but kind of steer the conversation or steer what you want done, because you're being there for their service. Yes, I am thoroughly thankful for doctors and all that they know, but sometimes I think it takes the patient to kind of be like, this is what I want you to do. Like, this is what I'm willing to pay for. Like, I want this done. Like, I just want to skip all the other things that we could go through to kind of see what it could be. Like, I just want to go ahead and go to the top-notch thing, which was an ultrasound, to see if it was a blood clot or not. Conway? A note from our sponsors. Anyways, so ends up, first thing, didn't even have to go through all the other stuff, since I was like, I just want to go straight to the ultrasound to see if it's a blood clot or not. Was a blood clot. Was a pretty big one, because at the time I was so freaked out. They had to put me on like some kind of anxiety medicine to kind of like calm me down, because I was like pretty freaked out about it, because it's a big deal. Like, if you've never been through it, like, you don't understand. Like, but anyways, I was really anxious about it, and I found it was a blood clot, and they wouldn't tell me at the time, I guess because I was so anxious, how big it was. But where I had waited so long to go to the doctor, granted it still was just maybe a little over a week, maybe just a week, I'm not really sure now looking back at it, but I waited longer than I should have. But that's just the kind of person I am. I feel like something's going to resolve. Like, nothing's bad wrong with me, you know? I'm that kind of person. But where I had waited longer than I should have, it had kind of grown. And they wouldn't tell me how big it was. But later on, after I'd been to a couple of different doctor's appointments, because you have to, my doctor finally told me how big it was. And it was from behind my kneecap all the way down to my ankle, basically. Like, it was like a string of like clots down my leg, and that's why I couldn't walk, because it was basically cutting off blood supply to the muscles in my leg or my calf, and that's why it hurts so bad also. But to make a long story short, like, I just want to share this, because to make women aware, that all the women, like, there's so many different women out there that are on birth control, different types, and they're susceptible to getting blood clots, and it's a big deal, and it really should be more widely given out to women, the knowledge about blood clots and how they can get them and what they feel like, and the experience that other women have had with them, because it's not so uncommon that, like, we shouldn't talk about it. Like, we should. It's something that every woman should be aware of and knowledgeable about how they feel and when to go to the doctor, because I should have went to the doctor way before I did. You know, I may not have had as many complications as I did with it. That is why now, like, I have to do different things to keep from swelling on planes, because I swell so much now, because I've traveled before with that, like, before my blood clot and then afterwards, and now, like, I have to do everything I can to keep from looking like a balloon. Like, at least on my legs, like, my legs, both of them really, but it was my left leg that had the blood clot, but they will get massive. And for days, I have to take, like, water pills to keep that water out of my leg. It's just crazy. I I just want other women to know that you need to be aware of this. It's something that's very serious, and you need to take more care in knowing that it can happen to you, because I was that kind of person that thought that it could never happen to me, and it did. If you are on birth control, or if you know anybody else that's on birth control that can benefit from this video, please share it. I really want to get the word out that people need to be aware of this, or women need to be aware of this. Come here! Come here, comrade! Come on! Come here. Yeah, him's a good boy. Come look!